You wake up. Not in a high-tech HQ, but face down in a dumpster, your head throbbing from the concussion you got saving a cat from a tree that inexplicably exploded. The lingering scent of week-old fish and existential dread is your morning alarm. Your super hearing picks up the distinct squelch of rats scurrying over what used to be your cape. It's Tuesday. Again. Your hero uniform? It's ripped, stained with questionable fluids, blood, slime, week-old coffee from a grateful civilian, and perpetually smells like ozone and desperation. You've tried washing it in public laundromats, but the stares you get trying to explain a bullet hole in spandex are worse than the actual bullet. You just hang it in the alley to air out, hoping the next rain won't turn it into a biohazard. Forget soaring through the city. You're walking. Your flight powers decided to take a break after that nasty run-in with a low-flying pigeon and a particularly aggressive drone. Now your ankles ache, your knees creak like an ancient door, and your super speed feels more like mildly inconvenient jogging. You're pretty sure your average daily step count is higher than your net worth. Speaking of net worth, you don't have one. Zero. Zip. Zilch. You stopped a bank robbery yesterday, only to be handed a bill for the structural damage your heat vision caused. The city expects you to pay for collateral damage. Your landlord, who thinks you're an unemployed transient, expects rent. You're paid in goodwill and exposure, which it turns out doesn't cover microwave burritos. Your secret identity is less a secret and more a running joke. Everyone knows it's you. Your distinctive nose, your oddly specific penchant for saving people on Tuesdays, the way you always say fabulous when dispatching minor criminals. Your old high school bullies now just call your real name while throwing rotten fruit. Your parole officer just shakes his head. Physical health. A fantasy. You have more untreated fractures than a badly maintained skeleton in a forgotten museum. That healing factor they promised you? It mostly just ensures you don't immediately die from internal bleeding, not that you actually recover. You've got chronic pain in places you didn't know existed, and a persistent cough from all the smoke inhalation. The average life expectancy for a super-powered individual like you, statistically, it's about 4.2 years after your powers manifest. Most don't make it past their first alien invasion, or a particularly ambitious supervillain with a giant laser. You're already pushing 5. You attribute it to sheer stubbornness and a diet consisting primarily of lukewarm vending machine coffee. Disease? Oh, you get it all. Super flu that makes regular flu look like a mild tickle. That weird glowing rash from fighting the radioactive mole man. The constant low-level radiation poisoning from that one time you absorbed a nuclear blast to save a kitten. Your immune system is basically on permanent vacation, sending you postcards from the land of constant illness. Social demands are suffocating. You're expected to be everywhere all at once. Save the cat, stop the meteor, give a motivational speech at a kindergarten, defuse a bomb, sign autographs, and explain to a city council why you accidentally vaporized the mayor's prize-winning petunias. You're a glorified unpaid emergency service, public relations stunt and punching bag. And the food, you dream of a hot meal. Instead, it's stale bread pilfered from a bakery dumpster, slightly moldy cheese you found near a defeated villain's lair, or protein bars you liberated from a crashed cargo plane. The last time you had a truly decent meal was when that old lady you rescued gave you half a sandwich. It tasted like Triumph and expired mayonnaise. Punishments are swift and disproportionate. Accidentally cause a blackout? You're on the city's most wanted list for disrupting essential services. Try to stop a mugging. You're sued for excessive force by the mugger's surprisingly well-funded lawyer. The public adores you one minute, then torches your makeshift hideout the next for blocking traffic. Trauma is your constant companion. You've seen things. So many things. The faces of the innocent you couldn't save, the terror in the eyes of victims, the grotesque transformations of villains. You have nightmares in 4K resolution, complete with surround sound screams. Therapy. You can barely afford bandages, let alone a professional who wouldn't just label you delusional. You try to connect with other heroes. Turns out they're all just as miserable, underpaid, and emotionally stunted as you are. Your hero support group usually devolves into a depressing discussion about utility bills and the best way to patch a torn costume with duct tape. It's less fellowship and more collective despair. The brutal daily life means you're always on edge. Every siren, every distant scream, every flickering shadow sends a jolt of adrenaline through you. You can't relax, you can't sleep, you can't even enjoy a cheap stolen comic book without wondering if the next page will be interrupted by an alien invasion or a particularly virulent case of super gonorrhea. Your superpowers feel less like gifts and more like a cruel cosmic joke, flight that only works intermittently, strength that causes more problems than it solves, and a clairvoyance that mostly just warns you about impending plumbing issues and bad hair days. You often wish you just had the power to pay your bills on time. So, you stand there, a super-powered anomaly, a walking, talking public nuisance with a heart of gold and pockets full of lint. You saved the world like 3 times last week. But nobody cares that your shoes have holes, your teeth are starting to ache. And your only friend is a pigeon named Kevin, who occasionally brings you shiny bottle caps. At least when your ordinary friends complain about their soul-crushing corporate jobs, they get a paycheck, benefits, and don't have to worry about accidentally setting their boss on fire with a rogue energy blast. You just have to prevent global annihilation, regularly and single-handedly, for free. At least they get weekends off. You just get more Tuesdays. Tired of your own unpaid heroic efforts? Like and subscribe so you don't miss our next chapter of human misery.